Hi everyone, Emma here. John, do you remember that time I bought a new coffee machine?
Oh, yes, the one that made strange noises and then stopped working after only a week.
Exactly. I needed to take it back to the store, and I remember thinking, how can I explain this problem clearly and politely?
That's a perfect story, Emma, and it leads us directly to our topic today. Welcome, English-speaking school listeners.
Today, we're going to talk about something very useful for your everyday English, how to make a complaint politely in a store.
Yes, sometimes we buy something and it's not quite right. Maybe it's broken or it's the wrong item. It's important to know how to speak up.
Absolutely. We'll focus on some key polite phrases like I would like to, and how to explain your problems simply and clearly so store staff can easily understand.
This is great for building your confidence when speaking English in real-life situations. So, let's jump in and learn how to make a polite complaint.
All right, let's jump right into our first tip for politeness. When you approach the staff, it's always good to begin with a polite request, not a strong demand. Instead of, give me my money back, which sounds quite angry, we use phrases like, I would like to, or the shorter, I'd like to.
Exactly. For example, with your coffee machine, Emma, you wouldn't say, this machine is broken, fix it. That's too direct. You'd say, I would like to return this coffee machine, please.
That's right. I would like to return this coffee machine because it stopped working after only a week. See how that sounds much kinder and more respectful? It makes the situation easier for everyone.
It really does make a big difference. Remember, I would like to softens your request and shows you're being reasonable. This phrase is super useful for any polite interaction, not just when you have a problem.
Exactly, John. And linking back to my coffee machine story, knowing how to say, I would like to return this is really important because it helps you get a solution without getting upset. When you're polite, people are usually more willing to help you.
That's a key point, Emma. If you just say, it's broken, the staff might not know exactly what happened. It's much better to clearly explain what the problem is and when it happened. For your coffee machine, you explained it stopped working after only a week.
Right. Being specific but keeping it simple is crucial. Instead of a long story, just state the fact. The coffee machine stopped working, or the shirt has a tear. Keep it clear for them. Before we move on to our next tip for handling complaints, we have a quick request for all of you, our amazing listeners.
Yes. If you're finding these tips helpful, especially learning how to politely start a complaint with, I would like to, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast. That way, you won't miss any future episodes on useful English phrases.
And if you could, please leave us a like or a positive review wherever you listen. It really helps other English learners find us. Just like you clearly explain your problem in a store, a clear review helps us reach more people.
Absolutely. And share this episode with a friend who might benefit from learning how to politely say, I have a problem with this item. Your simple explanation of why they should listen helps us a lot.
Okay, John, after your polite start with, I would like to, the next practical step is to explain the problem clearly but simply. Think of it like giving a mini report, just the important facts.
Exactly. A really useful strategy is to name the item first, then state the specific issue and, if you remember, when it happened. For example, I bought this coffee machine last week and it's not turning on.
Perfect, John. Notice he didn't tell a long story. He just gave the key information. This coffee machine, the item, last week, when he bought it, and it's not turning on, the clear problem. This helps the staff understand quickly what you need.
This simple structure helps you stay calm and make sure your message is understood easily. Just stick to the facts about the problem.
Okay, John, are you ready to try a little role play? I'll be the customer, and you're the store assistant.
I'm ready, Emma. Let's see how polite I can be.
Excuse me, I would like to inquire about this small fan I bought yesterday.
Of course. How can I help you?
Well, it seems to be faulty. When I plug it in, it makes a strange noise and then stops.
Oh, I see. Did you keep the receipt?
Yes, I have it right here. And also, the box says it should come with a USB cable, but it was missing from the package.
All right, let me take a look at that for you.
Great job, John. Notice how I used "I would like to inquire about" and clearly explained "it seems to be faulty" and "missing from the package."
Yes, those phrases are perfect for being polite and making sure the staff understands the issue. Makes a strange noise is also very clear.
Now, let's try another one. This time, I'll be the store assistant. John, you're the customer with a problem.
All right, here I go. Excuse me, I would like to return this shirt, please.
Certainly. What's the reason for the return?
I'm afraid it's the wrong size. I asked for a medium, but this one is actually a large when I tried it on.
Oh, I understand. Do you have the receipt with you?
Yes, I do. And also, I just noticed there's a small mark on the sleeve that wasn't there when I bought it.
No problem. Let me just check for a replacement.
Thank you.
Excellent, John. You started with "I would like to return this shirt" and very clearly said it's the wrong size and there's a small mark.
And I also added, this one is actually a large to be even more specific, which is super helpful for the staff.
Those role plays were really helpful, John. We've talked a lot about what to say, but sometimes listeners might have other questions. For example, a common one is, what if I don't have the receipt?
That's a great question, Emma, and it happens often. If you don't have the receipt, you can still try. You'd start with, I would like to return this item, but I don't have the receipt. This is honest and polite.
Exactly. Even without a receipt, clearly stating your problem, like "the coffee machine stopped working yesterday," is still important. They might offer a store credit instead of a refund, but being polite always helps your chances.
Those are really practical tips, Emma. And it shows that even without a receipt, politeness and clarity are still your best tools.
Absolutely, John. Speaking of clarity, I remember another time when being clear was very important and a bit embarrassing if I hadn't been polite. I bought some fresh fruit from the supermarket, a big bag of apples, thinking they looked great on the outside.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. You got them home and...
Exactly. When I cut into the first one, it was all brown and mushy inside. Every single apple in the bag was like that. I felt a bit silly, but I knew I had to take them back.
So, how did you phrase your complaint about the mushy apples? This is a perfect example for our listeners.
I went to the customer service desk and said, "Excuse me, I would like to return these apples, please." When they asked why, I explained, "I bought them yesterday, and when I cut them open, they were all bad inside." I didn't say yucky or gross, just bad inside.
That's a fantastic example, Emma. You used, I would like to return, and then a very simple, clear explanation. They were all bad inside. No drama, just the facts. This is exactly what we mean by explaining problems clearly.
Yes, and they understood immediately and gave me new ones. Using simple words like bad or broken is much better than trying to use difficult words when you're explaining a problem. And they understood immediately and gave me new ones. Using simple words like bad or broken is much better than trying to use difficult words when you're explaining a problem.
Absolutely, Emma. Those examples, from coffee machines to apples, really highlight our main lessons today.
Exactly. So, to quickly summarize our top 3 tips for making a polite complaint. First, always start with a polite phrase like, "I would like to," or "I'd like to." This sets a respectful tone and makes your request sound reasonable.
Second, explain the problem clearly and simply. Just give the facts, what the item is, what the issue is, and if you remember, when it happened. No long stories, just useful information.
And third, remember that politeness and clarity are always your best tools, even in more difficult situations, like when you don't have a receipt. Being honest and polite significantly increases your chances of a positive outcome.
Great summary, Emma. Now for our quick challenge today. We want you to use I would like to at least once today. It doesn't even have to be a complaint. Maybe it's I would like to order a coffee, please, or I would like to ask a question.
Yes, practice that useful phrase in any situation you can. It really builds confidence for when you might actually need to use it for a complaint. Thank you so much for joining us today for this important English lesson.
Keep practicing your English, speak up with confidence, and we'll be back soon with more practical tips on the English Speaking School podcast. Goodbye for now.